Good afternoon. My name is MHutto, and today I'm going to be discussing with you my comprehensive exam for my master's degree in instructional leadership at Jacksonville State University. First project I'm going to discuss with you is my action research project. My action research plan was an experiment on the relationship between student achievement and academic success. Attendance, as we all know, is an obvious problem in all grades throughout the nation. Research has proven that there's a direct relationship between student attendance and academic success. And students who drop out of school tend to have a lower quality of life than students who do not. The purpose of my action plan was to identify students in grades 9 through 12 who had chronic attendance problems at Arrington High School. The students were selected for the study from a mixture of children in these grades that had excessive absences that resulted in failures or near failures in their previous school year. 12 students were originally selected for this study. Now, one important note for this is that we were not able to identify and cover every student that had attendance problems at Arrington School due to the fact that this was a trial run. Students had to receive or had to have parental permission, and we contacted the parents before we actually enrolled them in the classes. Some of the parents, or there were several parents, that did not want their students to be enrolled into the program. They wanted their students to be in the enrichment class of their choice, even though their child had attendance issues. At the beginning of the school year, I designed and implemented an attendance contract in which the 12 selected students had to follow to successfully be removed from the course. Students who had 0 unexcused absences and were making adequate progress on their classwork could return to the enrichment class of their choice. The students were placed in a study hall during the 50-minute enrichment class to make up missing assignments and tests. The entire goal of this study was to prevent students from losing additional class time and to help increase their attendance rate and their academic success in their classes. Students in the program were evaluated every 4.5 weeks. The primary advantage in conducting this study at Arrington School is that the school has already had an enrichment period in place and working for several years. There's 3 primary purposes that the enrichment period was established. First, this period was designed to provide students who were falling behind or struggling in various standardized testing areas an opportunity to remediate without the chance of losing class time. Second, students who were falling behind in academic classes could receive peer tutoring. Now, the difference between peer tutoring and what I was trying to do in my study, or what I'm continually trying to do in this study, is in peer tutoring, students were set up with another student and they received tutoring in a specific area or specific academic class. We believe that the students that we selected to be in the study hall that I created could succeed and excel in their courses just as long as they had a good academic record and, well, had a good attendance record and they had adequate seat time. So this study hall just reinforced those issues. The final reason that the enrichment classes were established here is for students to take art classes, choir, guitar, classic movies, basic woodworking, just to mention a few. I think this is especially advantageous at a small school setting like Arrington, where there's only 1 or 2 elective courses. This gives students an opportunity to broaden their horizon and see other opportunities that they wouldn't be able to see without enrichment courses. At the end of this past year, I found that this study was effective in managing some of the attendance issues at Arrington High School. All of the original 12 students were released from the study and into the enrichment class of their choice by the end of the 3rd 9 weeks. The program has been effective enough that we're going to continue this program next year. Currently, we have 9 students that have received parental permission who are going to enter into the program at the beginning of next semester or the next school year. I've learned through this study that effective communication, persistent monitoring of students, and chronic attendance problems can be effective. I believe that this project relates to Standard 1, which is planning for continuous improvement. This project gave me the ability to lead and motivate the staff at Ayrton School, the students, and the stakeholders, the families, to achieve the school's vision, which is to empower students to become independent, productive members of an ever-changing modern society. Like I said, the students that were in this class, they wanted to be removed from the study hall as quickly as possible to get into an enrichment class that they actually enjoyed and that they could be with their friends. The second project that I'm going to discuss today was my required artifact for law and ethics. It was a group project on the current legal and ethical issues that are valid in the classroom today. Just due to the amount of time that we had to present this project, I'm only going to cover some of the primary ones that I thought were most effective when I presented this to my faculty and staff in November of last year. The first topic that we covered in the faculty meeting was religion, the use of religion in schools. When dealing with religion in schools, you first have to consider establishment clauses and the establishment clause and the free exercise clause. The establishment clause prohibits the state from passing laws that respect an establishment or religion, that aid in a religion, or show preference for one religion over another. The free exercise clause prohibits the state from interfering with individual religious freedoms. Both of these clauses require schools and all other state agencies to maintain a neutral position regarding religion. I found that this was very important because most of the teachers that teach at Ayrton School go to church with a lot of the students at the school. So they don't see it as a problem to talk about religion in the classroom, and they don't understand understand or comprehend some of the state laws that are in effect. And they don't really realize that they are breaking the law sometimes when they bring religion into the classroom. All students do, however, have First Amendment rights that allow them to participate in student-centered devotional activities in school. The freedom of speech, press, assembly, and petition are collectively referred to as the freedom of expression. The ACLU monitors the protection of free speech in schools for students. School officials may not silence student expression just because they dislike it or they don't approve of what they are expressing. The administration must reasonably forecast that the student expression would lead to either a substantial disruption of the school environment or invasion of the rights of others. A student has a right to be protected from an unreasonable search or seizure, or from being questioned in a custodial setting when he or she is in school, at a school event, or on school property. Student rights depend on whether school staff or the police are doing the search, seizure, or questioning. The rules are a lot stricter, meaning he or she has more protections if the police are involved in the search. Courts have established that people do have an expectation of privacy when it comes to what is in their pockets, in their backpacks or purses, cars, houses, etc. This same expectation of privacy applies to students in public schools. A search looks for evidence of wrongdoing in places where someone has an expectation of privacy. School staff may search for a student if there's reasonable grounds that the student or that the search will turn up evidence that the student broke a rule. This means that the staff has to prove that there's more than just a hunch that the student did something wrong. There has to be substantial evidence that this student did something to substantiate the search. The Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act protects student confidentiality of student records. School systems may only release information concerning students. You have two types of rights that you have to deal with in this issue. You have custodial rights and you have non-custodial rights. Custodial rights deal with the parents or the legal guardian. That basically gives them the right to inspect the child's student records, to challenge the accuracy of the records, and actually to give consent to release those student records to other officials. Non-custodial rights include the right to view student records. That's what we have as teachers. Teachers, counselors, administrators who have legitimate educational interest may view a student records or view a student's records, but they must document when they viewed the file and for what purpose the file was viewed. You can't just go and pull a student's file and read through it just because you want to get information on the student. The last one that I'm going to discuss is one that we're all familiar with. It's the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. It's a law that ensures services to children and disabilities throughout the entire nation. IDEA governs how states and public agencies provide early interventions, special education, and related services to more than 6.5 million eligible infants, toddlers, and children and youth with disabilities throughout the nation. Children and youth ages 3 to 21 receive special education and related services under IDEA. The U.S. Department of Education is required to provide states with federal regulations that define the meaning of the law, including the changes which occur commonly. Every state must then issue state regulations and rules to local school systems throughout their state. A written statement known as the Individual Education Plan, or IEP, is developed for each child with a disability that falls under IDEA. The IEP, it can include various supplemental aids that will provide opportunity for overall student success. It could be specially designed instruction, shortened tests, reading tests aloud, related services by the special education teacher, supplemental aids and services, and just various other accommodations for students with disabilities. This is a very important area that all teachers need to be knowledgeable of and to not get themselves in any trouble over. They need to accommodate and provide services for all students. I believe that through this project and through the presentation that I was able to provide to my faculty, I was able to master a couple of the standards that we were supposed to go over. First and foremost, standard number 4, which is diversity. And I mastered this by responding to and influencing the larger personal, political, social, economic, legal, and cultural context in the classroom while addressing diverse student needs. I also think that I mastered standard 8, which is on ethics. I demonstrated honesty, integrity, and fairness to guide school policies and practices which are consistent with the current and legal ethical standards. And I think that this project enabled me to open the eyes of not only the faculty and staff at Ayrton School, but even some of the administration that were not quite aware or up to date with some of the current laws that were in place. I want to, this concludes my presentation today. I want to thank you for your time. I know it was a little bit blotchy, and maybe it'll be revised a little bit better the next time we talk. Thank you.